What's up, guys? Hope everybody's safe with the change of events that's been happening in the past month or so. It's been happening for longer, but now it's in more of a broader spectrum. The whole world's viewing the U.S. the same way they have been. I've realized that I'm not nuts because as far as in the aspect of preparedness, you prepare for many things depending on area, region, reason. And I was watching an episode of Doomsday Preppers. It was an old episode, and they spoke about civil unrest. They ended the episode by saying it's possible, but highly unlikely. Unlikely. They said, with the state of the world we're in right now, I bet you those preppers are laughing their asses off that were on that episode, and I applaud them for it. I bet you Doomsday is adjusting all the things they're saying right now. They're gonna reword things and tweak it just a little differently. Ever since the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, we've had racial tensions. I remember back in the 80s, I've had cops harass me. I had a cop put a gun to my head. I had a cop hit me with a walkie-talkie. And you know what? I'm going to tell you right now. From experience, I'd rather get hit with the stick. A walkie-talkie is harder. Don't ask me why. But at least it felt like it. The thing is, the same officer that hit me with the walkie-talkie, his partner actually told him to stop because I wasn't the person. The cop that hit me was black. The person that stopped him was white. The one that put the gun to my head, that was another issue. This is when I was younger and living in Brooklyn. Same situation. And it hurt. And I actually got to the point where I actually hated the cops because of what was done when I had the gun put to my head, because intimidation. We'll get answers out of people. And at that point in time, the cop was black. And his partner was white. I don't know if they were playing good cop, bad cop, but the point is, our world has been going around and around and around this song and dance as far as race and this and that. Look, people need to understand that, yeah, there's stereotypes. Yeah, there's things that we need to realize about each other culturally. But not all damn cops are bad. The same way not all doctors suck. I mean, people need to get it through their heads that everything is not about freaking race. And it's really starting to get ridiculous. You have people during a peaceful protest breaking into Little Caesars, Walgreens, cell phone stores. That little pizza man had nothing to do with anything that happened. Neither did Walgreens. You have those individuals that have a tendency of using something to justify why they're doing what they're doing, and then they make everyone look bad. And especially coming from a black man, mixed race. I know if I hang out with drug dealers and the cops know those drug dealers, I would not be surprised if I get pulled over because I'm associating with those drug dealers. Okay? So people need to realize that cops have a job to do. They are security. They are security for us. The next line of defense from us defending ourselves. Not all of them are bad. Now, I would say on the other spectrum, and I feel sorry for a lot of officers, black, white, male, female, because now you have some individuals on various police forces that, I don't know, maybe they have some issues on their own. Maybe they weren't really picked to get on a certain team in school. Maybe when they put that uniform on, they feel like they now have an S on their chest. And it's unfortunate because I've met a lot of good officers and some a-holes, but you have that regardless if you go to McDonald's or Burger King. I mean, you're going to have people that have bad days and just have bad attitudes. But I'm going to tell you, from my experiences personally, not all of them are bad, not all of them are good. But the very, very sad thing is the fact that now all the ones that actually just go to work to do their job, to come home, to enjoy the time with their family, are now going to get a lot more backlash because you have some idiots in their profession, in their scope of practice, that have fucked it up. So now everybody's looking at all of them. You're the same way. And that's not the case. People in this world fail to realize that we've had marches, we've had protests. It happened with Dr. King, and it's happened before I was born, it'll happen after I die. People need to understand sometimes you have to protest peacefully so you can show the world that your cause is just. When you add violence to it, it gives them more of a reason to militarize the police force that you're fighting against. Those individuals that were doing dirt and doing bad things, obviously they're not the ones that care. During protests, of course, you're going to have people that get locked up because that just happens. 9 times out of 10, it's pretty much a slap on the wrist. You get a fine and you go home. But now with the course of events where the violence happens, of course it ends up being, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. And that's not the case. All I know is the way it looks. That's been the big thing on TV, the riots. There's been other things that's been going on in the news that people haven't really been focusing on. I don't know if they've done it today, and I haven't actually had time. I just finished taking a test today. The CIA or White House are releasing documents on torture practices. There's been other things going on in the news that we've been losing our focus on because of one incident. If we changed our perception and how we look at ourselves and how we look at other people, we'd be much better off. We'd have a lot less problems. If some people stopped looking at, if you saw someone walking down the street in a hoodie, he's suspicious. You never know. That man could have got back home from Iraq and just found out that he lost all his family in the fire and he just needed some time to himself. People have a tendency to perceive people by what they wear a lot, which is pointless because you can see a woman in a business suit and think she's a professional. And you could see another woman in a short, tight dress that's 3 inches above her knee and think she's a hoochie, but not realizing that, you know what, maybe for the past 3 years she was fighting a weight loss issue and she's finally gotten down to the size she needs and she finally feels good about herself and she's probably a graduate. She's probably about to go to, I don't know, MIT or invent something to revolutionize the world. And she just wanted to have a nice night out. But you perceived her as being a hoe. Hey, Maybe she's still a virgin. People have a tendency to judge too quickly and too harshly for the wrong reasons. And I understand as far as on the thing with cops, some things, yeah, of course, you're gonna find a description. Some people fit the description. I understand that. But as far as the violence that's used, as far as it goes, that doesn't need to happen. Some things need to stop. I think we do need to have some type of more public committee to regulate and be more so of a buffer between the police and the public. You know, another thing I was thinking about, a lot of friends of mine, I mean, I have friends from different cultures. I've been noticing that I've been seeing a lot of white on white crime. For example, white cop killing white man or white female or something along those lines. The thing is, with everything else going on, no one seems to focus on that because we're so focused on everyone else protesting. What the hell happened to the justification for all these people and their families who passed or, well, died for no reason? Now, if it was justified, that's one thing, but really? We can't make everything, like I said, we can't make everything black and white and this and that, because then we're going to have a divide. If that's the case, then we might as well freaking have North and South all over again. And if we had North and South, I mean, it really wouldn't matter because that's another story. The thing is, people don't put in, oh, how many Hispanics got killed by cops this week? How many whites got killed by cops this week? The numbers are fluctuating, but people keep focusing on one story. People keep forgetting everything else. And the sad thing is, it's just, like I said, people are too focused on trying to make this a racial issue, and it's not. All I know is, if it doesn't change, we're definitely going to have problems. And the people that prepare may be ready for some of it. But honestly, I don't think a lot of us that prepare are actually ready for it. And by ready, I mean, we try to prepare, but when it comes down to it, are you hoping things are better? No. You just want some just in case crap. Just in case. You know? I don't know. But I know everybody forgets about the black and white, the white on white issues, the white on Hispanic, the white on Asian. People always forget that. They never bring that up. It's always got to be about race. I'm about sick of that crap too. I'm trying not to cuss. We don't need to have the same people that work with the cops trying to judge the cops. Because, I mean, if you think about it, and I don't want this taken out of context, but just so it makes sense in some people's mind. If you have one drug dealer here, and you have another drug dealer here, and they know each other, do you really think they're gonna put either one of them in jail? They're gonna let them do their thing, unless they're trying to take over each other's business. That's whatever they do. But the point is, you can't have people at work, camaraderie together, judging each other. You're not gonna want to put your friend in jail, you know. People just don't seem to understand that violence that happens during protests give the states and federal agencies more and more of a reason to militarize law enforcement. And what happens then? What happens to your rights at that point in time? Your freedom of speech out the window. Gun rights out the window. They're trying to try that now. Now, this is probably going to piss off a couple people, but Trayvon Martin passed. If they got pissed off and rioted, I wouldn't agree with the riot, but I'd understand it. I can't say for sure what happened with the individual that robbed the store for cigars and was taken down by an officer. I wasn't there. But I do know, if you honestly think about it, if someone has violent tendencies prior to their death, they might have been violent towards the officer. I can't say for sure. I wish there was video. But what does that look like? Think about it. The gentleman that was placed in a legal chokehold downstate, that's straight wrong. That cop knew better. You don't need to choke somebody out. For what? Isn't that what you got mace and tasers for? And the way it looked on the video, you almost damn near had to jump on the person's back because you were shorter than him. Do I feel like him getting over was right? No. If a doctor just lets someone die and decides not to give them CPR when they're supposed to, because that's their job, and they don't go to jail, then it'll be outrage. Bad thing is everything is different. Every situation is different, and I really wish that the officers use cameras. I wish cameras are more available to the public so we could actually install them in our vehicles. Also, so when we get pulled over, the cops can't say, "Oh, my camera wasn't working, but this is what he did." No. Let's go to court. They'll figure it out then. You know, I try not to say too many things politically, but I have a lot of friends that they aren't too happy about all the situations coming to pass now. I just really wish this world changes for the better, and our voices are definitely heard. Because if not, then we're gonna lose all the rights that we're fighting to have and we're fighting to keep, and we're not gonna get anywhere. Just so you know, the world's no longer about black and white. Everybody keeps trying to make it a racial issue. It's not racial. It's right or wrong. Don't try to call it something else and make it look different. It's either you're right or you're wrong. Alright guys, well, that was just my rant. Sorry I've been out of contact. But I will be speaking to you soon. Alright? Alright guys, go start. Stay safe.